Hello and welcome to a channel update for August. It has been 2 months since we last did one of these, and I basically want to discuss through what kind of things are going to be happening on the channel and what kind of things I'm wanting to do, which is something that I didn't really have a clear idea in terms of what I wanted to do last month. I was a little bit torn in terms of a couple different directions, and also I wasn't really getting the videos out to start with, so I was a little bit more focused on trying to get actual recordings done, get things out, and it failed a little bit, but we're getting more on track now. As you can hopefully see, I've got a little bit of a backlog, which is something I haven't had for about 4 or 5 months, so that's pretty good. So I actually have probably 3 or 4 days where I don't have to record anything, which is a great situation to be in, because if I record anything, then it's just like I basically just banked it. I've put it away, and then that's me, ahead of time, which is a great position to be in. One of the advantages, though, of not backlogging is that you do get a little bit more back and forth immediately, which works great when you start a new series. Like something like Morrowind, where you don't have any I didn't have any backlog to start it. Was pretty much because of the way it didn't plan it like this at all, but because the way I was recording about 2 episodes at a time, and then I was getting to read the comments from like the first episode by the time I start recording the next 2, and that was working out really well because I actually get to get a little bit of feedback immediately, which is something that is cool. I may work out a better way of doing it. I think doing that with like more than one series at a time would be a bad idea, but say, for instance, I backlog 3 series, like go way ahead on 3 series, and then have 1 series which is a kind of immediate feedback kind of series, record only a couple days ahead. Is it the worst thing in the world? Probably not. Anyway, just wanted to kind of throw some of that stuff out there. So let's talk about what's going to be on the channel in the next month or so. So first thing I want to talk about is Pillars of Eternity 2 DLC, because I have been recording that. We will probably finish it within 2 weeks, and then that is it done. I've decided that I don't want to go back and do all of the optional quests in it, as in there are a few quests which are kind of like, hey, you can go kill a tough monster. Oh well, whatever. Or, hey, there's a combat thing do you want to do? I realize I actually prefer the story in the game. I don't really... The combat's okay, but it's a vessel to drive the story forward. It's not the thing that I'm playing the game for, if you get what I'm meaning. Like, if the combat is fun, it's because it's a huge set piece, which kind of sets everything up, and then you get the cool, like, the boss stomping around, and then you get the happiness of having beat it, you get all of the I'm trying to think of the right words, but basically, you feel great after defeating a tough boss, right? And then that lends itself to the story. I don't really like the combat where it's just like, hey, we got an arena filled with enemies, kill them, when you're done, come back, we got another arena, you can kill them. You know, whatever, I'm not interested in that. It's not actually that fun. So, yeah, I mean, it's okay, but I have better things to do with my time, essentially. So, Pillars of Eternity 2 DLC, we're going to do it. This one is a lot more light-hearted than the previous one. It's a lot more kind of jokey around. There's magic and weirdness and extreme weirdness and even more weirdness. Like, there's tentacle monsters with multiple eyes. It's gone into an odd space, which is really cool. I like it when games go a little bit weird. So, Pillars of Eternity 2 DLC, it's done, effectively. It's not quite finished recording, but I know exactly how much time is left, because the nice thing about that game for recording is that it is extremely formulaic when it gets to its dungeons. Like, what it did is you go in and it goes, hey, we need you to clear out this side of the dungeon, and we need you to clear out this side of the dungeon. Immediately upon seeing that, I know exactly how it's laid out, because one side of the dungeon you clear out, you get a key. The other side of the dungeon you clear out, you get another key. You then use the 2 keys to open the center path. Center path leads to the big boss, which probably has another boss behind it. End of the DLC. I may be wrong, but that tends to be how it's laid out. It's not a failure, it's just, the way they like to lay out things. It works fairly well. One side will have like one set of enemies, one side will have the other. Maybe the boss has a combo of the 2 or something like that. It's fun. Anyway, that's Pillars. I was happy getting back to it, but you know, we're going to be happy moving on. And talking about moving on from Pillars, we're going to talk about something that isn't on the list. I am probably going to start streaming very soon, because I bought myself a Switch and a capture card, and there's a certain fantasy strategy game that I've been watching a lot of recently, and I really want to sink my teeth into it and, you know, play it, because it's one that has multiple different storylines, all of which have kind of twists and things. And I've seen most of one storyline, and now I'm like, I need to see the rest. The person I'm watching has said he's only going to play the one line, so I need to play it myself, and I'm going to play it on the channel. And it seems like a good idea. So I'm probably going to stream it and have it as a series. Haven't quite worked out how I'm going to do it yet. What I imagine I'm going to do is I'm going to have something like, I'll record maybe till maybe I'll record 4 episodes. We have a stream on the Friday that's a little bit longer at the same time the episode would usually go out, and then I record like to the next Friday or something like that. Haven't fully decided how we want to do it. Haven't decided how much I like the streaming. What I'm liking about that setup in my head is that if the streaming just doesn't work for the game, for me, then what I can do is just cut the stream day and just make it episodes just in a line, but we'll see. I haven't fully decided, but I want to start streaming. It's something that I feel is gonna be good, and I've invested into it, so that's what we're gonna be doing. Hopefully. Assuming that everything arrives, we may even start this week. May wait till Pillars ends and start next week, but probably would be better to start this week. Anyway, we'll see. I don't know. Don't entirely know how everything's going to work out, but probably by the end of next week we will have had a stream. That's my intention, but we will see. Anyway, moving on, we have Morrowind. Morrowind's been fun. It's been an interesting game. There's a lot of things I see in Morrowind which are in like Oblivion and Skyrim, but in a different manner. Some of which are better in Morrowind, a lot of which are better in Oblivion, some of which are better in Skyrim. You know, there's a few systems that don't quite work. I'm still not entirely sure I like the 2-hit system. I can see how it works out, because it means that you can't cheese fights as easily. For instance, in Skyrim, right? If you're fighting an enemy, the enemy is far better than you. You get your bow, you stand up on a ridge, and you just shoot arrows into that guy. If they find a way up to you, you just walk away and keep shooting arrows. You just keep going, right? That enemy will eventually die. In Morrowind, that won't work, because you just won't be able to hit the enemy with your arrows. So it doesn't really, and there's also not that much verticality in places they can't get to as easily, but like, you would need an awful lot of arrows to make that same strategy work, so it does kind of mean that you actually have to train skills up and things like that, which, you know, is also good. I think there's a balance to be made between these two extremes, but anyway. Morrowind, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what we're doing with Morrowind right now. We're kind of just wandering through quests. Maybe I'll do some main quest. What I am thinking, though, is I'm looking at Outer Worlds, which comes out October 25th. And I'm going to play Outer Worlds when it comes out, right? I'm going to play it day it comes out. So Morrowind has to be done by the time that game comes out. Outer Worlds is not going to be that long, from what I've heard. It's going to be shorter than something like Fallout in terms of scope. I think we're probably talking 20-30 hours in that game. Also, apparently it's more linear than you might expect. There has been gameplay, but I haven't seen any of it. So it's probably only going to be a month. What we could potentially do is split Morrowind up into seasons, which is what I've seen other people do, where you say, like, you complete the end of a main quest and you go, right, that's the end of season 1. And then you come back for season 2 and you maybe have installed a mod or 2 or something like that. That might be what I do. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we'll think about it. I just realized these times are wrong, because this one is actually at... That's been bugging me. This one is at 17:30. 30. There we go. We'll do that. And then this one is at 18. 00. Right, there we go. That's slightly better, although it's not Monday. I forgot what day it was on. I think it was Thursday for both of them. Okay, that's what I get for trying to do it live. There we go. We go for Thursday. We go for Thursday. Perfect, right. Anyway, so, Morrowind. Talked about it a little bit. Needs to end before Outer Wilds comes out. Shouldn't be a difficulty. What I'll probably also do with Morrowind is if I start doing the streaming thing, what I'll probably do is knock Morrowind to the 6:30 slot and then stream at 7. That would probably work a little bit better because then it lends itself a little bit better because all the content for the day has gone out and then the stream just lasts for as long as the stream lasts. Rather than if say I started streaming at 6:30, that doesn't really work out because then if someone comes out at 7, then it's gonna overlap and it's gonna split viewership, and you know, I just don't want to worry about that. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but yeah, probably better to move Morrowind back into a slot. You may have noticed with Crusader Kings, I do switch the times around a little bit. The reason I do that is I tend to find that you get more people watching the 5:30 one than the 6 o'clock one. Because obviously each one you put out of the same game, it's the diminishing returns. There's diminishing returns for number of videos as well. If I was to put out 2 videos a day, those 2 videos would probably get more views individually as videos than it went each individual video as a 4. But if I put out 4, then you get more views overall, I think. Anyway, also allows me to put out more variety, so which is good for the channel. But yeah, in case you're wondering why I keep doing that, every time I put out a new Crusader Kings series, I just put the older one into the 6 o'clock slot. Just because it works out a little bit better that way. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. Other stuff. Divinity. Let's talk about that for a second. Still going. We're up to the 14th of August on that one. And we also are getting to the point where we're severely away from where we have no knowledge of what's happening now. We are way past where we were on the previous series of Divinity 2, and it seems like we're actually progressing into like the second act and the third act. Sorry, we're already in the third act, because actually I think we're in the fourth. I can't remember. There's one act that's really short, and we might be in the third act right now, and then we're about to move into the next one, I think. We're at a point where if we get like another level or 2, we can complete about 2 or 3 zones, and once that happens, the game really speeds up, because well, at least the way it worked with the first game is once you got to a certain level, the game just became incredibly quick because you were at the level to do all the quests, so you just kind of stormed through things. We're kind of getting to that point. We're doing quest, and just getting a ton of XP, and it's, you know, it's a fairly good time. Right, Crusader Kings. We have Robert's Rebellion now, and we have the Zany Zoroastrians. Why are we doing the Robert's Rebellion series? Well, if you haven't watched the start of that series, I do explain it, but at the start of that series, basically, I tried to get the mod to work for some stuff, and I was getting some bugs with the Game of Thrones mod, so what I'm doing is this little bit of a shorter series, little bit less focus, and then when the when the mod gets updated to the latest version of CK2, and it looks like they've stopped updating CK2 for a little bit, then we will move to that, and we'll do a longer Game of Thrones mod series. But I didn't want to do a long series while we were getting bugs and things, because it just wasn't going to work out the way I wanted it to work out, so that's what we're going to do there. The Zany Zoroastrian series was not meant to be this long, but I'm running into issues with the AI maybe doing some things which is not meant to do. But I haven't resorted to cheating yet. We'll see. It almost got me to open the console the other day and just kill a character, because there was one character who just immediately kept spamming the same event over and over at us, which was a little bit infuriating, but yeah, we're getting there. It's a challenging series, which is something I haven't had in Crusader Kings for a while. Usually it's quite simple to get to where you want to go, but yeah, it's fun though. It's fun to have a little bit more of a challenge. Anyway, other stuff, there's not too much else really to talk about, apart from the fact that I'm starting to integrate more comments into the videos. You may have noticed that a little bit with trying to actually, well, there was a comment that triggered it where somebody said, "You're really bad at remembering names, aren't you?" And I was like, yeah, probably should actually, actually credit people when they give help and all that sort of stuff and integrate it more into the videos, which is what I'm trying to do. Don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling a little bit with that. Trying to answer a few more comments than I was and things like that, but we're getting back into the swing of things, and yeah, I have just rambled on for about 15 minutes, and that's probably about 10 to 15 minutes too many. So I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in a video soon, or in a stream soon. I'll try and put out a video saying when the stream is going to be, if I plan that far ahead. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.